FPUC is battling up. Yes, in a real big change of events, Senator Wyndon out of the Senate has now said when he gets a third stimulus package bill there in the Senate after February 22nd, he will oppose it because the bill under the third stimulus package provides $400 a week of FPUC. He wants $600 of FPUC and he's ready to go to the mat for it. And so are the viewers of this channel. Enjoy this overnight LA video explaining how to get FPUC, how to get unemployment, how to get PUA, and how to get it retroactively, how to get it escalated, and more. Enjoy this throwback video explaining all those questions and answers on FPUC.
Big movement on unemployment assistance as more people realize that $600 a week is needed right now. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Afternoons LLA. Thanks for joining in with me. Glad to have you here. This is our 2-hour programming block that starts with a check, goes to hazard pay, then this video, and finally rent assistance. Big news about unemployment benefits overnight. That's $600 per week, which is called FPUC. It goes on top of UI benefits every week and on top of pandemic unemployment assistance, PUA. It's expired. It's no longer paying you out. 23 million Americans won't be receiving their unemployment benefits checks for that $600 currently going forward. And Congress is trying to decide when and how to get this to you while the president is doing nothing about it, even though he has the ability to by executive order. More about that in a second. But big, exciting, promising news that $600 is likely where we're going to land. New data, even this afternoon, which is Friday afternoon, confirms what I've been reporting now for 2 days, that no one, I mean, I'm not exaggerating, no one is behind $200 a week, and the 70% massive strange calculation, which I'll get to in a second, that starts September 1st under the Republican plan. No one is supporting them except the people who authored the plan. Let me get to where the problems are erupting. First, there's the actual amount, which everyone can understand and grasp. It's an easy concept. I got $600 a week. Now I'm not getting $600 a week. What's going to happen to my check? Well, the Republicans took months to draft a second stimulus package. They could have written one in May. Then, if you've been with this channel for weeks, you saw that they kept on saying it was ready. It wasn't ready. Finally, they debuted it on Monday. And the minute they debuted it, they had a lot of confusion because they couldn't understand what was really even in it. Their proposal on its face looked like it was $200 a week into 2021, but it's not. It's $200 a week for the month of August, and you're probably at the moment going to lose the first week of August at the rate we're going now. And then it drops to the 70% of your 2019 earnings based upon a calculation that the state would do not more than $500. And if it's this, then they send the check. But there's a caveat. Yeah, this is actually how it's written. But there's a caveat. If they can't do the calculation, guess what? They don't even have to send you a check. So basically, the Republicans' proposal is not to give you a penny. This is after the Republicans for months wasted time on the subject. They said, 1, we don't need unemployment benefits. Americans' economy is back to normal. 2, they said, we're not going to give people unemployment benefits. They're getting rich on them. 3, they said it's creating a welfare state. 4, they said, we're not going to do unemployment benefits. We're going to give bonuses to getting back to work. They spent months of time wasting time on that. And then they introduced the bill on Monday. Guess what happened last night? They said, you know what, we have an emergency here. Really, Captain Obvious? We have an emergency here, and people aren't getting their $600. So you know what? We propose an idea. Let's do an emergency executive order or an emergency bill by an act of Congress where we give them 1 week of $600 right now. How about we do that, Democrats? The Democrats and probably the viewers of this channel are thinking, you know, we saw this problem 5 months ago, Captain Obvious. Why are you doing this now? And why are you thinking it's an emergency now after you disparage the American worker for months? You let FPUC expire, and now you think we're going to throw some money at people for a week so that we get a holdout on the situation? Well, I asked viewers what you would do. Would you take the offer of a 1 week bill, an emergency temporary bill of 1 week, $600, and then go back and negotiate for the next week after that? Or would you do what Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer did overnight, which was, hey, we're not doing piecemeal temporary 1 week bills. We're doing the whole package, and the package has to be done by next week. Most of the viewers said they would not budge and they would hold their ground at $600 a week. It was quite interesting, but what's interesting is what I have in front of me, which is more support but what I've been reporting since Monday. No one supports $200 a week. New economic data from states suggests the following. It's not feasible technically. If you haven't caught what I've been talking about, there's a lot of problems with the September 1st program for the Republicans. They propose on September 1st that state unemployment websites, which send out the $600 via funds from the federal government, does something. And that thing that the Republicans propose the state unemployment computers do is take 2019 earnings for every individual, do a calculation, times 70%, figure that's less than $500 or more than $500, then look at how much they're getting for unemployment benefits added on there. It can't be more than 70%. If it's more, then you reduce it, and then do that calculation and then come up with a number and put that number in there and send it out. Guess what? I mean, I don't even have to tell you this. You probably even know this. State unemployment websites, state unemployment computers can't do that. They literally can't do that mathematical calculation. They're too antiquated, the computers. They had enough problems doing a mere one line item of $600. Line item, $600, enter. They had so much problem just doing that in March that several states never could issue the FPUC on time the first time around. Now they're saying, what are you talking about, Republicans? Our computers can't do this. We don't have computers that can process this calculation. Even more ridiculous, they say that they don't have the information to do the calculation based upon. States don't have your 2019 gross revenue most of the time. And to say that they are to get that calculation or that information for somewhere else, they don't have it. They're not ready to have it. They don't have the computers to do anything with the information. If they got it sent to them, by Federal Express and they manually entered it, they literally cannot do it. Now, what's really strange here is that this is sort of what's going on this week with a lot of people talking about stuff that literally is in the clouds and not realizing the situation. You understand the situation. I understand the situation. I've been doing videos on FPUC and PUA and UI from the date this channel launched on April 25th. And for months, people were saying, I'm in Texas, their computer systems aren't working. I'm in Florida, their computer systems aren't working. I'm in California, I can't get anyone on the phone. They made a calculation on my system that's wrong. I can't get anything to work. There were hacks of computer systems. They were run by independent contractors. There were meltdowns. There were privacy breaches. It was literally like, zombie apocalypse meets UI. It was that bad. And so now you have the Republicans thinking that they have some wonderful computer system run by, Apple and Microsoft and Cisco doing UI systems. No, they literally can't do anything. And so these states that literally had months of problems getting out a mere $600 now have told Steve Mnuchin this week the following. Steve, I told you for months we can't do this. Why are you proposing something we told you can't do? Whether it's a Republican state or a Democratic state, they've been telling him for the months. And so the end result is it's not happening. American Forum, which is a online news site, says that both plans face a basic feasibility problem. Unemployment offices are struggling with the increased number of claims, which I haven't gone into that as well. They're understaffed and outdated computer systems. Unemployment expansion such as FPUC, which is the expansion of UI benefits, which required an additional upgrade of the computer systems, and PUA, which of course, as you know, never existed until May. They had to update their computer systems for that as well, have understandably put additional strain on a program that was in most states not equipped to handle an economic turnaround of this magnitude. The $600 FPUC came about largely because it would be far too complicated and take too much time for employment offices to handle a more complicated bonus outside of a single flat rate. This is what's so important to understand. The $600 was done in the spring because computer systems at the state level of the unemployment offices could do a single number and an enter and send it out. They could do that. They couldn't do more than that. There are still individuals who have yet to receive a single benefit due to the inaccuracies and inefficiencies in unemployment systems. I've had these viewers. I've had viewers that are owed, $8,000, $10,000 of FPUC from March. They have not gotten it because the computer systems are backlogged. Claimants in Nevada are bringing forth a class action lawsuit wherein several thousand workers have not seen benefits due to computer glitches and mistakes in the unemployment offices. So Steve Mnuchin says that he wants Nevada, which can't even process a mere $600, to do some complex mathematical calculation like it's an incubator on Mission Impossible. No. Attempting to implement the systems outlined by the proposal may further delay individuals from receiving timely, accurate employment compensation. It's actually worse than that. You just won't get it. You won't get it, and that states can apply for a waiver and never pay it. On the Republican plans faces a similar challenge. A 70% wage replacement can't be calculated. There you go. That's that part, but it actually gets even worse for Republicans and more positive, inspiring news for you if you're waiting for that $600 per week. No state supports $200 a week. Whether you are the swing states, the battleground states, the Rust Belt, the Southwest, the Northeast, the Southeast, polls have been asked all across the board by broadcast news that are really, really on top of FPUC. Do you support $600 a week or do you support $200 a week? No one supports $200 a week. Not a single place supports $200 a week. So why are Republicans who are elected from these states that are actually Republican states proposing a bill that their own citizens don't support? It's really quite troubling. Unemployment claims were out last night, jobless claims. As you know, Thursday is always the day the new jobless claims were reported. And the numbers are not good. I could sit here and just put a cardboard cutout of myself and repeat it and press play every Thursday. Another week of unemployment claims over 1 million. 19th consecutive week, unemployment jobless claims, new jobless claims tapped 1 million. Came in at 1.34 million. That we have never seen 19 weeks, consecutive weeks of unemployment claims over 1 million since the Great Depression. It's that type of seriousness that we're at. 40% of U.S. households are facing eviction because they don't have their unemployment benefits. They're not getting payment from their states. We had the Republicans that proposed to give you 70% of your employment benefits that don't explain where you're supposed to get the remaining of the 30% of the money to make ends meet. A new report I detailed on Mornings with LLA, thanks for tuning in. That was a really watched show and a lot of fun to do this morning, showed that the amount of savings that U.S. Americans have is dwindling at record number. People are dipping into their savings because we have this delay in getting benefits out. People have to figure out how to pay their bills. GDP, which is an indicator of the strength of the economy, worst number since the Great Depression. That came out yesterday, 30% drop in GDP. It just evaporated. Consumer spending is only up in two realms. And then you have the corporates. Oh boy. Those damn corporates, like the airlines, those schmucks of the airlines, who Congress thought they could throw billions of dollars at them the first time around to keep American jobs. They did. And those airlines fired all those people, fired tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of employees overnight. kept the money for themselves, kept the money for corporate greed. Senators have demanded the money to be returned, but even worse, the Republicans are proposing more money for those same organizations. Restaurants that have not brought back full employee staffing because they don't have enough business, they don't want to use up all their funds, are now asking for more giveaways, and they're getting those more giveaways. And finally, a federal building. A $3 billion federal building, which has nothing to do with COVID-19 relief, while you're sitting here waiting for your unemployment benefits. It's causing us to wonder where we are and what's going on. The optics, which is the perception, the imagery of the situation, is getting in your favor very bad for the president. The president understands that $600 a week is not being paid to citizens. It's on broadcast news, morning, noon, and night. There are what you would call individual pieces or feature pieces where it says this is Jessica and she had the money before and now she's facing eviction. So they're doing feature pieces, all local news, national news, every single hour, and saying it's because of this situation has happened for this individual. It's everywhere, and the optics are very bad for this president. Ultimately, it's causing one to wonder, what is he doing? Does he just not want to be reelected? Because no one's going to vote for a president who didn't help you in a time of need. No one is going to vote for a president who really wanted to screw you over for a mere $400 a week. Whether you call it stingy, you call it cheap, you call it economically unfeasible, or you call it baffling, which is what I call it. It doesn't make clear what his group is doing. As I detailed yesterday, and this is what's so important, there's not only the human element of those that you need the money, but there's also the economic element. Every single major leading economist, Republican and Democrat, says stimulus means stimulus. You need to have lots of stimulus. You can't just dribble. And if you start to risk that you can do it at $200 rather than $600 and you get it wrong, the calamity can be very severe. This country could be in a very bad depression for many years to come because you didn't want to pay an extra $400 a week. It's literally that simple. Hazard pay needs to be paid. Eviction moratoriums need to be issued, an emergency order not allowing people to evict it, and people need unemployment benefits. If you do that, you can stop a fall off the financial cliff immediately. But if you don't, and you wait too long and you try to backtrack, which is what Mitch McConnell did. He didn't want to give you a penny. Now he wants to give you a 1 week of $600. If you scramble to backtrack later on, it's too late. You're over the financial cliff. For now, good news, because ultimately more people are pushing for $600 and no one is pushing or supporting $200. And it's only, 3 o'clock in the afternoon Pacific Standard Time. We could see if other senators introduce other bills, because apparently everyone's writing a bill by the minute because they're not happy with the situation. Stay with me and join me later today on the last video on Afternoons LA Late, rent eviction moratorium, big progress on that. And then join me for Afternoons LA Late. Always like and subscribe. Subscribe to this channel. On the front of this channel, get alerts so you get to know when a new video goes live. And I'll see you on the next video. Stay safe and stay positive, and stay with LA for more.